What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Evercrisis video. Alright guys, two things I want to cover today. Number one, I don't know what's been going on. Lately, I've noticed a couple comments here and there that people think this is not a free-to-play account. So I'm going to just prove it for those naysayers who just started watching me and are like, don't put F2P in front of your titles. Listen, I can show you guys the shop. And for those who've been watching me the entire time, know that I have never purchased anything here. As a matter of fact, I can't even purchase stuff because the emulator that I have doesn't even allow me to purchase anything using real life funds. So there you guys go. I've actually deactivated it a long time ago. So I don't even get to see prices. So yeah, nothing's ever been bought. The only thing I've ever touched has been this free daily package. So for those who have said that, yeah, here you go. I hope this kind of proves it to you guys. I've never had to. I have a pay-to-win account, and whenever I use it, I state it. I'm like, hey, this is my pay-to-win account. And it's fairly noticeable because my pay-to-win account has the Murasame at OB 13 or 14 or something. But this is definitely not a pay-to-win account. So for those guys who are just a little upset that I'm beating content that you guys think free-to-play cannot beat, well, I gotta say, I'm sorry guys, it's just a matter of luck, right? Season Pass, not purchased, never has been purchased. I don't even have any of the wallpapers. I'll go to wallpapers as a matter of fact here. Let's take a quick look. Because I just want to prove this, right? Because I know Octopus went through the same thing and I feel bad for him. Like, look at this. Look how many wallpapers I'm actually missing. Like, if I was pay to win, I promise you guys, all of these would be unlocked, okay? So, for those who are like, yeah, you're pay to win, bro, you're not free to play, think you gotta just check yourself, because here's what Octopus and I'm going to speak on his behalf as well too. He doesn't summon on every banner. As a free to play, you shouldn't be doing that. What I did, and you guys can go back and check out the VODs, right? Is I waited. I saved up 65k from since the summoner the Sephiroth summons right there, 63k. I think I got an extra 2k along the way, and I just summoned. And if you guys look at the title, F2P Stream Your Luck activated. Crazy Luck summons for FF9 crossover. So when I did the summons, you guys can go back and watch it yourself if you don't believe me. I got insane amount of luck, and then I did 15k more on top of that off stream, and then that put me down to 15. I left with 30k. Off stream I did 15 more k, and I showed the next video that I did 15 more k, and I summoned more. So if you look at the account, it doesn't look very pay to win to me, right? Look at this. Like, this is the highest OB weapon I have next to Fairy Tail, which I got super lucky on because it's been on my wish list forever. But I just recently got this, right? Look at the rest of this. All free weapons. All free weapons. This is another one that I got lucky on. This is the recent summon. So again, Fairy Tail was probably the most lucky one I've had so far, thank goodness, because it's Aerith, obviously. Look, this is Ramuh's. All the free weapons, guys. So for those who are being naysayers to the content creators and saying that we're secretly pay to win, I think you're a little smart in that. This you can actually see proof as well in the other summon. This is the FF9 cross summons. I got those there. Bald Eagle, another one that I got really lucky on because it's on my wish list, right? So for those who have a hard time believing that it's possible, it's a mixture of two things: luck and obviously skill. Pulling when it's the proper time to pull, and not just being, pulling whenever you want. So for those who are doubting, please guys, honestly, like, give a little more credit to your content creators. We wouldn't lie, especially like for me personally, I'm speaking for myself. I would never lie about it. All right, now with that being said, and without further ado, let's go back to the second part of the video. And kind of correlating with all this, the wish list, okay? And I want to talk about this because I believe a lot of people are still making their wish list incorrect. So let's discuss what's going on and how you could help yourself improve that, okay? So first off, the wish list itself plays a very important part, of course, right? It plays a part in you having a better chance of getting some of the weapons you're looking for. And I think here's the thing. This game has become a lot more reliant on debuffs and buffs more than ever. More than ever. And the number one thing I always hear a complaint about, I'm going to move myself over here because the wish list is on that side, is that people are lacking the specific weapons to do debuffs. So a couple things I want to talk about. Your team should always be comprised of three things. And you guys are aware of this already. This is not new news. This is old news. Should be a healer, a debuffer support, and a main DPS. Okay? So your wish list should be comprised of a couple things. So for example, Cloud is my main DPS. So, right? But he also has a really good support weapon in the Bandaged Sword. lately a lot of our fights have been AoE magic damage dealing fights, right? Take Black Waltz as a perfect example of that. So having the Bandaged Sword on Cloud as a backup weapon is a very good choice. So you would want to put a buffing item on there. So for me personally, having this at least at OB1 is good enough because that gives me all allies up to maximum of high medium defense, or sorry, magic defense, right? You start off with mid, cast one more time, it gets high. So it's very, very powerful and gives it to all allies. So you guys can really protect yourself from a lot of these damage dealing moves that would normally one-shot you. So, for example, having something like this, very, very important. Also, for someone like Cloud, on the flip side, if you already have like the Chocobo Staff and you're happy with it, you want to put something like this, where he can use Hard Edge to do physical defense down from mid to high, even just having 1-star version of it, or the 5-star version of it, sorry. So these are two very important things to note about your characters, right? So this is going to be your main DPS. Of course, as your main DPS, you obviously want to have the main DPS weapon as well too. So in this case, for Cloud, you're going to be summoning on the most likely the crossover 2 summons with Zidane's sword, right? But if you decide that's still not enough, then putting yourself his best like weapon, and in terms of what content you want to conquer, will be the next viable choice. So for me, it's Maritime Sword, because water damage is more important right now than the Murasame. But my Murasame and the Maritime Sword are currently matched up exactly the same. This is OB1, this is OB1. So I can actually change it back to this most likely and stick with that one, right? So keep that in mind. So your main DPS, you want to have two things. You want to have a main DPS weapon, right? And then obviously a support or a debuff weapon. So this, my opinion, is Cloud. Now, a lot of you guys might be switching Cloud into a healer. So if he becomes your healer, then obviously you go with Bandage Sword, which is your main support weapon for him. And then secondly, you would do something like the Crystal Sword, which is an AoE heal, right? So couple different options. So your wish list for your DPS should, though, be your main weapon and then a backup weapon, right? So for Cloud here, I'm definitely going to switch this over to Hard Edge and make sure that these two are currently being represented, okay? I was only trying to get the other ones done because of the wallpapers, to be honest. So moving over to your, let's go debuff and your buffer, okay? So Barret and Tifa and Red 13 and even Matt are amazing for this. We're going to focus on Tifa. Barret is a good backup as well, in my opinion, but Tifa has an amazing move called Somersault, obviously a limit break, which reduces magic defense and physical defense at 800 charge only, and she does it to mid at the most, right? But if you plan to use her as your main debuffer, then what you want to do is you want to put in something like this, where you put Leather Gloves in, which reduces physical attack from mid to high with just a 5-star level, right? This will allow you to beat a lot of bosses such as the Iron Giant, the Astral Giant, Behemoth, etc., right? So these are very, very critical to a lot of dungeons and raids and to big events. So Leather Gloves is huge. This on the flip side, if you're doing magic attack, then you want to get the Tiger Fangs, which has magic attack decrease. Now I have both of these. I have both the Leather Gloves and the Tiger Fangs, and I run them both at the same time when I use Tifa as my main debuffer. She is absolutely critical to most content, okay? But Tifa can play all different roles. She can also be a healer as well. So if you plan to use her as a healer, well, you got Lifeguard, so you put that in there as well, or instead, I mean. Or if you want to run her as a main DPS, you have Sonic Strikers here for non-elemental damage, right, physical, or you have Motor Drive for wind, physical, and then you also have Power Soul for magic. So all very powerful moves. But for me personally, she's a debuffer, so I normally put the Leather Gloves and magic attack down. So these two guys should be essentially part of your wish list right away. You should try to get a copy of these almost all the time. So far it would be Cloud, Tifa, or you can go Tifa just one time, depending if you want to do physical, or take away Hard Edge and just put Cloud and use Breach Materia. It's up to you. So you can have just one Cloud, 2 Tifas, or 2 Clouds, 2 Tifas, or 2 Clouds, 1 Tifa, right? But either way, you do want to have your debuffer having either one of these. Now, for Barret, as I mentioned, is a solid choice as well, too. He does have solid Bazooka for magic attack down, and I believe he has this here W Machine with physical defense decrease, right? So a couple different options here with Barret as well too, and Red 13 has some too. You guys can look into those as well. But like I said, debuffers, you want both physical attack and magic attack down options on both. Tifa is, in my opinion, the best one for it, okay? And then of course, moving on to the healer. Probably the most important, in my opinion, probably the most important role in the game, obviously keeping you alive so you can DPS and debuff. Fairy Tale should be your number one choice. Always. This should always be here. You want to max that out as much as you can. Fairy Tale obviously does incredible job at just a 5 level. It does 53% already as it is. Gives you boost, heal, etc. But the main thing is as you increase it, right, it goes up to 69 and then lastly 74%. Of course, for free to play, you're going to aim for roughly here, maybe OB. I'm at OB3 here. And it's been doing wonders, right? Because it's been on my wish list forever. I recently just took it off. So for your healer, you want to have that. Now, you already have backup weapons for her, for chocobo staff and stuff like that, right? But if you don't want to have bandage sword for Cloud and you just want him to be your main DPS, you could do this as well, right? You can take her and put the Mithril Rod, and Mithril Rod will provide you physical defense and magic defense. Even though it's at low potency, it'll still do the job for you at the most part, okay? You can get it to mid if you push it right here. Do it twice, right? So you guys can see here, mid. So it goes up to mid anyways. So it's a great way to help you boost your defenses on both ends. So you can run it like this, and for example, Tifa here, you can do this, right? Right there. And that way, you're fully covered on all grounds. You've got your DPS, you've got your 2 debuffs that are extremely essential, by the way. And then, of course, you have your healer and your buff, okay? Now, if you want to flip it and do a little mixed bag, we can take this out, for example, because I already have OB2, I think, on this one. I can put Hard Edge back in, right, in order to push it a little more. Instead of making her my buffer, I can take this off because I have Chocobo Staff already, and I can give Aerith the debuff option, which is the Sun Umbrella, right? And this here will reduce the opponent's physical defense and magic defense. And this can actually eliminate having Hard Edge in here. And again, you can go back to giving Tifa the leather gloves, right? So you can make your healer the debuffer, giving Cloud more options to just focus on DPSing. Okay, so these are the kind of things I think about when I create my wish list. So this here to me would be a perfect wish list for a starter. Really, I'm not joking. Like for me, this is how I would run it and this is a brand new account that I have, right? Well, not new. It was a free-to-play account that I started over. And that's my mindset. I knew right from the beginning, Shiva, Ifrit, Ramu, they're all going to require magic attack down. They're all going to, like some of them are going to require physical defense down. Some of them are going to require mostly debuffs, right? Even though there are a lot of opponents that are immune to debuffs, it's still, most of them are not. So it's still good to have a variety there for you. Now, the other option, of course, is the flip side. You can give yourself buffs instead, right? Now, if you look at Glenn, for example, with the lamppost, he has the ability to give somebody physical attack mid to high, right? So that's an option as well, too. If you want to use him as your support, you can do that. So you guys can give yourself, instead of, and the purpose of this, of course, is when an opponent is immune to physical defense down, well, if you're lacking DPS, you counter that by giving yourself the physical attack up, right? So that's a good way to look at it. And then, of course, you have the options to do someone like Tifa, who can self-buff herself with her brand new weapon. So No Mercy, if you attack, she does a self-buff on herself. So that's another option. And then, of course, Aerith's brand new weapon, the Garnet Rod, right? Oh, this is actually not on this banner. It's on this banner right here. So her new weapon is also another great choice to choose from if you plan to pull for it. She gives somebody magic attack up. So the flip of Glenn's, by giving magic attack up instead. So you have many different options to do it, guys, but you should always be thinking, who is my main DPS? Okay, this is my main DPS. I need to level up his main DPS weapon. Perfect, good, done there. Okay, am I going to use him as a debuffer? Yes, then put in the debuff weapon. All right, now I need an actual debuffing support unit. What do I need her or him to do? Okay, so Tifa for me needs to do physical attack down and magic attack down. Perfect, we're done there. My healer, is she just going to be strictly heals? If yes, okay, then main healing weapon, right? If she's going to be support, if she's going to be taking over the physical defense down part, okay, well then I can give her the Sun Umbrella, and now she plays both roles. There you go. Perfect setup for a wish list, in my opinion, okay? Once you get more advanced, of course, you can then start modifying elements, modifying, the percentages, our abilities, and all that. But in the beginning, most people struggle because they don't have the foundation in place. And I think this is the foundation a lot of people lack. Most of the fights in this game don't have enrage timers, okay? So you can take your time and just go over doing the proper debuffs and buffs and beating content, for example, the tower, right? Without worrying about somebody enraging and killing you. So Keep that in mind, guys. All right, guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was insightful. Let me know in the comment section what you think, if you have a different setup and a different plan. But I think I hear a lot of people complain about this, and this is why the wish list just needs to look better. Don't always focus on DPS. It's not going to take you far if your whole team isn't complete, right? All right, see you guys in the next one. Take care.